This is Kristina with Flyover Country 97.9 and 96.3 The Marshall. And on the phone with me, I have Cody Canada from Cody Canada and the Departed. I don't know why I struggled with that. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How about you?
I am well. Now, you are getting ready. This weekend, you're going to be at the Born and Raised Festival in Pryor, Oklahoma.
Yeah. I think our fourth or fifth time to do this thing.
You play what?
Yeah,
Friday?
Yeah, we play Friday. Friday at 3 o'clock. I do a 2 o'clock acoustic set, and then 3 o'clock we do full band.
Awesome. So, is this your first time at that festival?
Yeah, I believe this is like my fourth time. I've been going a lot of years, so I think this is number 4.
Well, it's close to home, isn't it?
Well, a lot of folks say that. I've been living in South Texas for almost 20 years now. Yeah, I'm actually from Yukon, Oklahoma, which is just about an hour or so away from Tyler. But yeah, I've lived north of San Antonio for about 20 years, something like that. So, but yeah, it's my old stomping ground for sure.
Right. It is your old stomping grounds. Well, okay, so Cody, people who are not familiar with your music, how do you describe your music?
Well, they don't always say Americana, but that is a very, very wide genre,
Mm-hmm.
But, I've always said it's just as country as Tom Petty, and it's just as rock and roll as Tom Petty, it's, Americana has a wide range, of description, but I think the reason we've been labeled country before, which I'm not a real big fan of being labeled country, but whatever, I think it's because of the lyrics, I think the lyrics probably are a little more detailed, and
right.
It makes people get that country vibe to it, but no, I don't know, I've always had a hard time describing it, I was raised on good rock and roll, I was also raised on Merle Haggard,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, if there's one song that kind of, if you said, if you've never heard my music, this is the song you should listen to.
Probably 17 from the Ragweed days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Probably 17.
Perfect. Well, you heard it. He wants you to listen to it. That's the song. All right. Well, you've been doing this for a long time. And I hate to say, okay, well, you've been doing this for a long, long time. And I'm on the same boat. It's like, it makes us sound old.
Well, getting old, I don't feel still old, but getting there.
Perfect. Yeah. Now, you just released a new song, and, I shouldn't say it's new, but it was originally recorded in 2001 on Across Canadian Ragweed live at Billy Bob's, and the song is called Mexican Sky, and it was released, just at the end of August. So describe, why did you re-release it? Describe the song to us. What is it with Mexican Sky that made you want to bring it out again?
So I have 2 kids. Dex, who is 19, and Willie, who is 16. And they're guitar player, drummer, vocalist for a band called Waves and April. They have their own band. And the lead singer, her name is Elisha. Well, it's probably been, I don't know, 7 years ago. And Elisha, she's really good, and she had asked if she could sing that song with me, and it blew me away. But I didn't know you even knew my music, So she started singing that song with me, and her dad said, I'd like to pay you guys to record that song with my daughter. So man, let me get back to you on that, because I think I was able to just re-record it, and then we could have her sing it with us. So we did a version, that took long enough, but we did a version with her, and the version with her and I, and then just a version of me. But I always wanted to really do that song anyway, just because it they never had a studio treatment. It was always a live treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And we started to cut it probably 2 years ago, and I got busy on the road, and they had a chance to really finish it the way I wanted to. And then we got in there probably, early summer, and we got it ripped out. But the thing that was good, it holding me back was the guitar solo, because I was such a fan of the guitar solo on the first version. I was trying to get that the new one just right. And then finally, I heard one of those, it's not going to get me better than this. So I don't know if you sit behind the song. I wish I had written it. A friend of mine wrote it. And it's just one that I think everybody needs to hear, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, what is next? I mean, you just released this song, and I know, most artists are really going to just releasing single after single, and not doing a full album. What's next for Cody Canada and the Departed?
We started recording a lot of music in 2020. We got studios. Once we were all locked up and everything, we needed something to do. And we started recording stuff, original material and cover material. So we're just going to start releasing singles, just here and there. I got a live record I'm working on right now. And just a lot of content, just releasing a lot of stuff in the next year or so.
Just staying busy. No, you.
Yeah, very busy.
If you weren't doing music, what do you think you'd be doing?
Growing up in Oklahoma and working for my dad, that's I would still be doing that. That's what I did before Ragnar kicked off. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be working also. Probably not enjoying it, to be honest with you. I never really enjoyed it back then.
Right. Well, your whole family is, you just mentioned your sons, they are into music, and your wife, she is your manager, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, you guys are all into music. And tell me about this School of Rock that you guys have in New Braunfels, Texas.
That is her thing. About 6 years ago, I was losing my voice, and I thought I was done. And then, at the same time, my oldest boy, Jerks, was wanting to play guitar, and nobody really wants to learn anything from my parents, at a certain age. And so he didn't really want to learn guitar from Dad. So I thought, I'm not going to have a voice, and my kiddos are really getting involved in it. So Jenny said, let's look into the School of Rock. And they said no at first because they didn't think that New Braunfels, Texas was a musical town. They had to let them know about all the people that live here. All the rock stars and the country stars that live in this area.
Right.
And they let us do it. And it's been great. It's just a great experience. But we just graduated, and now we're just working there. Then we're going to open another one in Kyle, Texas, just south of Austin. It's been great. It's been really good for her. I've been watching her, I don't want to say mold, but really, kind of mold these kids into awesome young adults. And we just had one that graduated going off to the Navy. So it's been very fulfilling for her and I to be a part of this thing.
That's awesome that you guys started that and helping others achieve their dreams.
Yeah, what I told her before, I didn't really have a gigantic support team behind me when I was a kid, because it was, kind of looked at as kind of a pipe dream. If you want to be a musician, it was almost half baked. So it's been really awesome to be behind these kids and support what they want to do in life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's a great thing, and congrats to both you and her. I think that's awesome. Of course. So, what is your favorite thing about the music industry? Is it being on stage? Is it writing? Is it playing? What's your favorite?
I really think that when it comes to the actual music part, there's nothing beats playing live. usually bring somebody up on the bus to have a cocktail after the show and everything, just kind of get to know them. Yeah, I guess that would be it, just the traveling. It's a lot of fun. We played up in the Pacific Northwest a few weeks ago, and our crowds were not very big. Yeah, a couple hundred people. But that's what kept it personal and cool,
That's awesome that I don't hear that very often, that, just the traveling part of it and the meeting new people and that has to be a lot of what you do, because your listeners, the people who listen to your music, buy your merch, and support you, that's how you make a living.
Yeah, it is. I always tell everybody, we did this festival up in Idaho, and the year after COVID, everybody that played that festival sold out of merchandise on the first day of the 3-day festival, and that was because the people that listened to our style knew that everybody was kind of struggling through COVID and everything, so everybody rushed up to the merch and bought everything. That's a really loving community of people that's in there. Me and the kids,
Right, and that's how your listeners, that's how your fans can support you. One of the ways for sure is to buy your merch.
Yeah, merchandise. It's always the merchandise. From the ragweed day, we used to get made fun of them ragweed because they're like, where's the hot sauce at? It's like we had everything, we had onesies for kids and hats and we had lighters and rolling papers and all kinds of stuff, and everybody was kind of made fun of it. It was like, that's really upset, guys. It's merchandise.
Right. So, how can people find you, Cody?
TheDepartedMusic.com. That's the /website, and then DepartedMusic on Instagram. And I'm doing the same thing on Facebook. I don't know if I can link this to Facebook. I'm not savvy on that stuff. I do know it's Departed Music on Instagram.
Perfect. And if they want to see you live, and they're not going to Born and Raised, which I'm sad for them, but if they're not going there, where else can they? Where can they find your tour schedule?
We do a monthly tour schedule on Instagram, of course, there's the website and everything. But where we're going. This year's starting to kind of wind down just because I think we were gone the entire summer, so we have a limited amount of shows left for this year, so it's not too
Perfect. All right. Well, Cody, thank you so much for visiting with me. I appreciate you. And if you guys have not listened to his new song that just released called Mexican Sky, make sure you check it out. And, support Cody Canada and the Departed. Check out their website and social media and buy some of their merch and, listen to their songs. Buy tickets. Totally right here, supporter of live music. Make sure that you also support live music. And that's right. Now, Cody, I am going to play Mexican Sky coming up right now. How about you introduce it?
Hey, all right. Hey, y'all, this is Cody Canada from Cody Canada the Departed, and this is our new release, Mexican Sky, featuring
wanting to tell you that it's rained every day since you went away. Clouds are crying and I'm surviving. I'm thinking about you down in old Mexico. I'm thinking about you down in old Mexico. I know that the rain, it doesn't last forever, and seasons, they keep rolling on, and absence doesn't make every heart grow fonder. No, it don't. And the sun shines so bright in the Mexican sky, and I don't care how far you roam. I don't care if you ever come home. With those words of iron, forged by the fire in the heart of an angry man. I've been wanting to tell you